Hey guys, it's Coach Zach with Ultimate Baseball Training. Today I'm going to go over a couple different shoulder mobility exercises that I like to do on a daily basis, really just to make sure you stay healthy and keep you playing all season long. Alright, so the first one we're going to do today is called a wall 360. You can do it anywhere you want, at home, at the field, wherever you can just find a wall. So the point of this is just to make sure that we're getting full 360 degrees of rotation with our with the shoulder. So what we're going to do is just try to kneel down beside a wall and just get about an inch away from the wall so you have some room to work with. And all we're going to do is just go up and just try to follow that as far as we can. We want to make sure that we follow it with our eyes. That way we get a little bit more spine rotation, and that way we're not doing anything to damage our shoulder. So just really make sure that we're trying to stay as true to that as possible, and just seeing how far you can get. If you can't get very far when you first start, that's fine. The more and more you do it, you'll start to see more results. The next one we're going to do today is a wall external rotation. There's plenty of different ways that you can do any external rotation exercise, whether that be through light dumbbells or plyo balls or anything else you can find. I like to do mine on a wall just because it doesn't really allow you to compensate for your shoulder using your biceps or your scap. So I feel like this really helps with shoulder strengthening and shoulder mobility. So what we're going to do is we're just going to find a wall or beam like this. We're just going to get even with that with our shoulder. Make sure the back of our shoulder is in contact with the wall. And what we're going to do is just slowly rotate until we kind of feel the back of our shoulder start to pull off the wall. And then at that point, that's where we're going to stop. And then all we're going to do is just slowly try to get the back of the hand up to the wall. Now, what we don't want to do is be getting that way, so where the back of our shoulder comes off the wall. We just want to make sure that we're staying in contact with that and trying to have the best form that we can, so that way we're getting the most out of the exercise as we can. The next one we're going to do today is called scap wall slides. More basic probably. You've probably done any kind of variation of these. Reason I like to do these is just because it helps target the posture and the strength of your scap muscles, which in turn is a huge factor in the health of your shoulder. So anywhere you can find a wall, if you have a shorter wall, you can even do it while you're on your knees. But so what we're going to do if you have a full-size wall is get a staggered step. Don't get too close, don't get too far. And we're just going to put our elbows kind of at a 45-degree angle here, and then we're just going to try to lock in our scaps as much as we can and just see how far up we can go. What we don't want to happen is we kind of lose that scap, and when we lose that scap, we start working into our trap muscles, and that defeats the purpose of the drill. So really make sure that you're keeping your scaps down and keeping those tight, so you're getting the most out of the exercise as you can. For more advanced players out there, if you have the concept of this down and you want to try to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself, what you can do is when you get up to the top of the wall slide, try to lift off and see how, just for a 2 or 3 second hold, and just kind of keep doing those, making sure we're keeping our scaps locked. Again, what we don't want to do is lose the control of those scaps and get into our traps, because that's, like I said, that defeats the whole purpose of the drill. Next one we're going to do is it's called thread the needle. All you need is a foam roller to do this. Another drill that you can do anytime, anywhere. I'd recommend getting a shorter foam roller just so you have a little bit more room to work with. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the foam roller probably just right in front of your knee, and then we're just going to split that with our hands. So what we're going to do next is make sure we're sitting back on our heels so we get the most out of the stretch. The point of the stretch is to target the back of the shoulder and the mid-back. And we're just going to get the back of our hand on top of the foam roller and just rotate it as far as we can while maintaining good posture. And you can either do a certain amount of reps or a second hold. What we don't want to do when we're doing this is we don't want to come up on that, because that means we're using our hips and our pelvis and our lower back to compensate, and that's when we're going to lose some of that stretch. So whenever you're doing this, try to make it a point, make an effort to make sure we're sitting back on our heels. That way you get the most out of it. All right, now that we just did our thread the needle with targeting our mid back and the back of the shoulder, we're gonna do the same kind of concept, but this time we're just gonna do it to stretch our lats out. So same setup as we just talked about, and we're gonna just do the same thing, just going forward. You can go out at an angle a little bit if you feel comfortable doing that. And once we get out as far as we can, we're just gonna try to sink into the back of the hips. To sink down, try to sit on our heels as much as we can. It's really going to target the lats and really get a good stretch in there. We don't want our lats to tighten up because the tighter they are, they just pull down on the shoulder and on the scap, and that's ultimately not healthy for your arm. So making sure we can get as much stretch out of the lat as possible. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you can take some of these exercises and incorporate them into your everyday routine. If you did like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any more videos we have coming out for you guys. Thank you and see you next time.